Hello guys, welcome to MoBileMaThS with Gamtry. Today we want to look at indices. Let's say we've got a number and that number can be written as 10 to the power of 3. This number can also be written as 10 times 10 times 10. Okay, so we are taking into account the number of tens that we have. We've got 10 to the power of 3. I've got 10, 10, 3 tens there. The same can be done. Let's say we've got x to the power of 3. We can also do the same. We can have x times x times x. So we have 3 x's there. That's the same thing that we do. So we can also have another example. Let's say we have got x to the power of 4 multiplying x to the power of 3. We do the same. So let's go into detail and look at some laws of indices that we have. So the first laws that I'm going to look at are multiplication and divisions of indices. So the first one of multiplication, I've got x to the power of a times x to the power of b. This is the same as x to the power of a plus b, meaning to say that whenever we have indices that are multiplying, we simply add their powers. When they are of the same base, we've got x there. That's what we take into consideration. Let's have an example. We have got x to the power of 5 times x to the power of 3. Because they have got the same base there, x and x, we are going to add the powers. Let's add the powers. We have x to the power of 5 plus 3. Okay, so if we add 5 plus 3, we get 8. Then our answer becomes x to the power of 8. That's our solution there. So that's what you simply do. You add the powers. Let's look at another indices. We can have indices of division. X to the power of a divided by x to the power of b. This will result into x to the power of a minus b. So whenever we have got indices that are dividing each other, we simply, and their base is the same, please take note, when their base is the same, we simply subtract their powers. Let's have an example. X to the power of 7 divided by x to the power of 4. So we simply do the same. They've got the same base, x. So we simply say x to the power of 7 minus 4. What do we get? We get x to the power of 3. That's our solution there. Okay, let's look at another law of indices. Now we want to look at when we have numbers that are raised to powers. So the first one that we are going to look at is the power of 0. X to the power of 0. Whenever we have anything, any number, whether it's 1000, it results to 1. An example is 2 to the power of 0 is 1. And another one that I just gave, 1000 to the power of 0, we simply get 1. Okay, let's another example where we have got these powers. We can have x to the power of a negative power, x to the power of minus a there. What we do normally, whenever you have a negative sign on the power there, you simply write 1 over x to the power of a. That's what you do whenever you have a negative. Let's have an example. I've got 1 over 4 to the power of minus 1. So in this case, before I do anything, I look at 1 over 4. I have to write it, this 1 over 4 in terms of this. So I'll have 1 over 4. Sorry, let me rewrite this. I'm now going to have 1 over 1 over 4, like this. That's what I'll get. So when we do this 1 over 1 over 4, we simply get an inverse of everything. We get a 4 there. Okay, it's as good as we are saying 1 divided by 1 over 4. And when we do that, we have got 1 is the same as 1 over 1. 1 is the same as 1 over 1 divided by, it means we can multiply and have an inverse of 1 over 4 there, then we have times 4 over 1. That's why I said we simply get a 4 there. Okay, that's how you simplify it. Okay, let's look at another law where we are multiplying. We are looking at products. X to the power of A to the power of B. We've got a product of indices there. What we get is X to the power of A times B. Or we can say is X to the power of AB. It's one and the same thing. Let's have an example. X to the power of 2 and 5 outside. We can have, in this case, X to the power of 2 times 5. Okay, what do we get? 2 times 5, we get a 10. So we have got X to the power of 10. That's our solution there. Let's move on to fractions. When we have fractions in indices, I've got two parts here. Let's have X to the power of 1 over A. What do we get? We get square root of X raised to the power of A, like this. We get the A there, the denominator is the one that we are going to get the root of. Okay, let's have an example. 9 to the power of 1 half. We will get square root of 9. If you write it, 2 is the same as square root of 9. It's one and the same thing. 2 and square root of 9 is the same. But when you have 3, 4, then you write the 4, the 2, and everything there. So what do we get? Square root of 9, we get a 3. That's what we do. Let's look at another fraction. So another one, we have got X to the power of A over B. Now we have got something on the numerator. We get square root of, remember our numerator, our denominator B and X, then we can raise them to the power of A. Or else we can say square root of X to the power of A, then the square root that we are getting it or is of B there, like that. Let's have an example. 8 to the power of 2 over 3. This can be written as cube root of 8, and after getting the cube root we can square that. So let's find the cube root of 8 is 2. 2 to the power of 2, we get a 4. Okay, so that's what we get there. Otherwise, thank you guys. Let's meet on indices 2.